Hi everyone, welcome back to Toni on Real Estate Education. So this is volume 6 in my flashcard series. You want to keep watching. You could be just one flashcard away from passing the school and state exam. All right, let's dive right in.
Two properties share a common boundary abutting. Special permission to break zoning rules due to a hardship. A variance. Self-contained living unit on the same property as a main home, often used for rentals or extended family. An accessory apartment. The legal ability to use, lease, or develop the space above property. Air rights. A local government office that enforces building codes, issues permits, and inspects construction for safety and compliance. The building department. The legal regulations that set safety and construction standards, ensuring buildings are safe. Building codes. Official approval from a local government allowing construction, ensuring the work meets safety and zoning rules. A building permit. A legal document by a local authority that confirms a building is safe, up to code, and approved for use. A certificate of occupancy. The government's power to take private property for public use with compensation to the owner. Eminent domain. A court action where the government takes private property for public use with compensation when the owner refuses to move. Condemnation. A dead-end street with a rounded turnaround. A cul-de-sac. A binding rule placed on a property by a seller limiting how a property can be used in the future. Deed restrictions. Prevent someone from asserting a claim due to an unreasonable delay that harms the other party. Doctrine of laches. A legal right to use someone else's property for a specific purpose. An easement. Essential systems and services like roads and bridges. Infrastructure. The government's authority to regulate land use and property for the public safety, like zoning and building codes. Police power. Legal limits that define how far a building must be from the property line. Setbacks. The government's right to take ownership of property when a person dies without a will or legal heirs. A sheet. A property's existing use doesn't match current zoning laws, but is legally allowed because it began before the rules changed. Non-conforming use. A group that reviews and approves property design changes to ensure they meet community style and standards. Architectural Review Board. A group that protects and maintains historically significant properties by regulating changes and ensuring their preservation. The Historic Preservation Landmark Commission. Local government officials who determine the value of properties for taxation purposes, helping to set property tax rates. Tax assessors. The strength of an electrical current in a home system, showing how much electricity can safely flow through the wiring. Amperage. Detailed architectural drawings that show a building's design, layout, and construction plans. Blueprints. Written details that describe the materials, finishes, and workmanship required for a building project. Specifications. The angle of a roof showing how steep it is. Pitch. Measures how much heat energy is needed to raise the temperature of 1 pound of water by 1 Fahrenheit, used to rate heating and cooling systems. British Thermal Units, BTUs. The main control center for a building's electrical system, automatically stopping power if there's an overload or short circuit. Circuit breaker box. The horizontal board that runs along the edge of a roof, typically where gutters are attached. Fascia. The underside of a roof overhang. Soffit. The edges of the roof that extend beyond the walls, providing shade and helping direct rainwater. Eaves. The thin material used to seal joints and prevent water from leaking into a building. Flashing. The concrete bases that support a building's foundation. Footings. Horizontal beam above doors and windows to support the weight from above and transfers it to the surrounding structure. Headers. Horizontal support beams that hold up floors or ceilings, distributing weight evenly across the structure. Joists. A main horizontal beam that supports smaller joists or beams carrying heavy loads across a building structure. Girder. A construction method where each floor is built as a separate platform. Platform frame construction. Angled beams that form the skeleton of a roof, supporting the roof deck and helping shape its slope. Rafters. Measures how well a material resists heat flow. The higher the number, the better the insulation. R value. An underground wastewater treatment setup for homes without city sewer, usually using a tank and drain field to safely process and filter sewage. A septic system. A layer of boards or panels, usually plywood, attached to the framing of a building, providing it its strength and a base for siding or roofing. Sheathing. Horizontal wooden beam anchored to the foundation, serving as the base for the building's wall framing. Sill plate. Serves as the base for vertical wall studs, helping secure and stabilize the wall framing. Sole plate. Vertical wooden or metal beams and walls that form the framework, supporting drywall and insulation in the overall structure. Studs.